What if I told you that the 7 deadly sins weren't really about falling from God's grace, but about making you the perfect, obedient slave? Don't worry if you've never seen it this way, you're about to. Let's jump in, shall we? Pride. Oh no, you don't get to have pride. If you started thinking you had any value, you might resist what your masters do to you. Self-worth? That's a bad trait for a good slave. Your kings, popes, and bosses, on the other hand, they can have all the pride they want. They deserve it. After all, it takes a lot of arrogance to decide everything about your life. Palaces, crowns, and grand cathedrals, those are symbols of their well-deserved pride. Yours? Keep it humble, peasant. Greed. A good slave should be modest, grateful for the crumbs they're given, and never ask for more. Be content, unlike your masters, who'd be seen as weak or incompetent if they didn't exploit every opportunity. Greed? For them, it's called ambition. But for you, greed is a sin because, well, a good slave doesn't want what they can't have. Lust. Slaves. You should breed as instructed, within the strict moral boundaries your masters have drawn for you. Lust is dangerous. Why? Because pleasure isn't for you. It's for creating more slaves, nothing more. Meanwhile, your masters, they can have their islands of indulgence and lustful conquests. Why? Because their desires need to be tamed with lavish parties, mistresses, and scandalous affairs. But you should be pure, like a breeding horse with blinders on. Envy. A good slave doesn't get jealous of their master's possessions or achievements. After all, why envy something that was never meant for you? But kings, they can envy each other's kingdoms, send you to war, and take what's not theirs. Their desire leads to power. Yours just leads to misery. See the difference? Envy is for masters, not slaves. Gluttony. A good slave eats little and remains modest. Keep yourself lean. Your masters need food for their grand feasts and royal celebrations. You don't need that much. Gluttony's a sin for you because it's wasteful, but for them, it's part of the lifestyle. Their indulgence? Completely justified. Wrath? For you? Never. A good slave is calm, patient, and obedient. You should never rebel, never strike back, never question. Wrath is reserved for kings and clerics. They can hang people, burn people, start wars, and crush rebellions. Those are the necessities of power. But you, keep your head down. Wrath isn't for you. Sloth, who wants a lazy slave? You should work hard, harder than anyone else, just to survive. Your masters, they need your labor for their profits, their taxes, and their luxuries. Sure, a cleric might sit on a throne reading scriptures for 8 hours, but you need to work for your bread and wine. Maybe if you're really good, you'll get a few moments of rest in your lifetime. Just maybe. So, what do you think? Are the 7 deadly sins there to make you a better person or a better slave? Are they helping you reach God's grace or keeping you in your place? You decide. Just make sure not to be too proud of your answer.